Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Popular Stranger, and we are back with another episode of our Lions offensive playbook / ebook / guide that you guys can follow to score more touchdowns, score more points in MUT 25, whether it's house rules, head-to-head seasons, ranked, MUT champs, whatever. It's been helping a lot of you, and we're going to drop a brand new formation today, and it's actually something that I just recently started running, so it's also kind of new to me, but I'm having success with it. It mimics what you see a lot of the pros run, Fancy, John Beast, the guys who competed in the Madden Bowl. So again, episode 5, episodes 1 through 4, we covered the gun bunch strong X nasty formation in a lot of detail. For this one, we're going to be working out of doubles hip. Now with this formation, I literally only run one play, and it's going to be flood drive, and pretty much all of the routes that you see on here, we audible out of. The reason I'm doing this is because I'm not running the exact offense that you're going to see these pros run, which is mostly in the Philadelphia Eagles offensive playbook, and the formation is gun, normal, Y close, or Y off close. I'm sure you've, especially in house rules lately, run into this formation in this scheme a million times. Doubles hip is similar in formation to that formation in the Eagles playbook, but we're really just going to be copying some of the route concepts, but out of our own formation in the Lions playbook, so we can continue to run the stuff that we run in gun bunch strong nasty, but then incorporate this into our offense as well. So we're going to show you a bunch of different setups when it comes to the passing game, but I'm actually going to start with just a basic inside zone. I don't like to run the ball a ton, but I found that this particular formation in inside zone gets some really good blocking, and it's a really good way to run against the popular cover 4 A-gap blitzes, and also the loop blitzes that you're running into to pick up some yards. It's not going to guarantee big chunks of yards every time, but it can be a way to get them out of that defense, so then you can start passing the ball and having a little bit more time in the pocket to make throws. So we're going to select inside zone, and then I have a second controller activated here. The first thing I want to go over, and I will still be continuing, I think what I'm going to do here is, today we're doing Lions Playbook, another episode for that. Tomorrow we'll probably go back to the defensive ebook for the Vikings, and we might just alternate back and forth until we get both of these done. 2 episodes deep on the Vikings Playbook. If you're looking for defense, definitely go check out that series. The playlist of both of these series, offense and defense, are linked down below in the description of this video, so go check those out. So mostly people are going to be in dime 3-2 or dime 1-4, and they're running loop blitzes, but one of the more popular blitzes out of cover 4, and I will talk about this in the defensive guide that we're dropping as well, is they'll just simply blitz their left of screen linebacker. So in this case, it's going to be Zach Bond, and again, I'm sure a lot of you have run into this, and then they'll take this linebacker, and they're going to basically hover the gap. They're going to kind of get on the hip or the shoulder of this left guard and hold down on the right analog stick. And once the ball is snapped, they're going to try to touch 69. That sounded crazy saying it out loud, but they're basically going to try to touch the left guard there and then back off and play coverage. Really advanced users are going to switch stick immediately out of that. But what it does is it distracts the left guard enough to where 53 on defense, which is going to be Zach Bond, just comes screaming through. Now, this is totally blockable. And typically what I do when I'm passing the ball, and I notice that people are doing this, is I will block my running back. I will then hold down the L1 button on my PlayStation controller. That's going to be left bumper on Xbox, and we're going to do a half slide towards the blitzing linebacker. So when it's a loop blitz, you're going to go towards the side that the loop is coming around on, which in this situation, if they were looping, Zach Bond would be on the left of screen and loop around going right. So we would do a half slide to the right in that situation. So the blocking protection would kind of shift over to the right. But when it's coming straight at you, which is the example we're going right now, I would do a half slide in the direction of that. But that's only if I'm passing. The reason I just wanted to bring that up, because I know a lot of you are struggling against it. We just like to run against this. So basically, when this person comes straight at you, the A-gap blitz, their user is going to be tied up with the left guard, and typically either your right guard or your center will get to that second level, or even the left tackle in some situations, to take care of Zach Bond, where you're just going to kind of cut that inside zone, and it's going to be hard for me to simulate with 2 controllers because I'm just going to snap the ball now, but you're going to kind of start that inside zone moving left and try to quickly cut it right up the middle. There's usually going to be a gap there, and it does help to have human joystick on your running back to make that cut a little bit quicker, and there's a lot of running backs in the game right now that get that for 0 AP, so if you do have the ability to go ahead and equip that ability and you're going to run this play a lot, that's what I recommend. So I'm just telling you what to look for here. Again, it's going to be kind of hard to mimic, but as you can see, we kind of started going left as that nose tackle or defensive tackle kind of block shed against our center there. We had to cut it right back up the middle, but it's a good way, again, to pick up small chunks of yardage and discourage your opponent to get out of this defense. Now, again, the other one you're going to see a lot is the cover 3 crossfire, either out of dime 3-2 or dime 1-4, which we're going against now. And this one's a little bit different. So again, instead of hovering the A gap there, they're usually going to take the right of screen linebacker and put this person over here, and then user the other person. Sometimes that player will run away there. This could just be a practice mode bug. Let me try to put him here. So they're going to user this person, and because they moved this blitzer, he's actually going to loop around and come over here. Not the guy I'm controlling, but the actual computer guy. I'm just demonstrating what he's going to do. So again, they're probably going to hover the gap or just stay around here. The good thing about this is because it's looping from left to right, our inside zone, we're already running to the left. So we're running away from the looper, and if you want to, you can also either double team the defensive tackle, and if you don't know how to do that, you're going to hit L1 on PlayStation, again, left bumper on Xbox, down on your right analog stick. That's going to bring up the double team menu. You can move this back and forth left and right with your left analog stick, and then X to select A on Xbox. I should have mentioned that on the last example too. I pretty much always double team the center or the defensive tackle when you're going to be running strong to the left. If you want to double team the defensive end on the left of your screen, you certainly can. But again, this one, we're counting on our left guard and left tackle to take care of the user, and then the looper is basically running away from the direction that we're running. So unlike the A gap, we're not going to kind of go up and cut upside or up the middle of the field. We're more focused on running to the left here. And again, as you can see, we got a little bit shedded there, but we were able to run away from him. That looper is running in the opposite direction we're running. So just wanted to start off by showing you that play because it's a basic inside zone, but I found some really good success, especially in the current house rules, running against those 2 types of blitzes. So now let's get into some passing plays here. You can pretty much select any one of the plays that's available in here outside of maybe the play action, but I like to go flood drive because the post on the right hand side and the table route are already there. We are going to use those formations a handful of times, or I shouldn't say formations, but those routes a handful of times. But from this play, you are going to have, and I've said this pretty much the entire series, hot route master, backyard quarterback, master tactician. You're going to need access to all of the hot routes for every single player. And if you have a guy like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes, any of the quarterbacks that have those hot route animations, it's going to get a little annoying because you're doing so much. So it's definitely helpful to have conductor. And if you got like Bo Nix, he's going to be perfectly fine. But I'm going to show you a ton of different route combinations that mimic what the pros are doing right now without exactly running the exact thing that they're running. So the first one is I'm going to, and again, you need to understand the basics of hot routing. I've talked about it through episodes 1 through 4, but you're going to need to bring up your hot route menu by double tapping Y on Xbox, triangle on PlayStation. Then you're going to select the receiver or the icon that you want to go ahead and hot route. So the first one we're going to do is triangle over there, which is Amon-Ra St. Brown, and we're going to put him on a streak by pushing up on our left analog stick. The second thing we're going to do is put John Ross in a wheel route. So again, bring up our hot route menu, select the receiver, which is going to be square in this situation in John Ross, and we're going to push down on our directional pad to put him in a wheel route. The third thing we're going to do is put our tight end on a drag. So bring up our hot route menu, select X for Vernon Davis, that would be A on Xbox, and press down on our right analog stick to put him in a drag. Now, if you're going against either the loop blitz or the A-gap blitz, you're more than likely going to have to go ahead and block your running back. And again, if it's the loop blitz where the player is running from the left of your screen to the right and looping around, you're going to hold down L1 or left bumper and do a half slide to the right like that. If they're doing the A-gap blitz where they're hovering over that left guard and coming straight down to you, you're going to do a half slide to the left left-hand side. And again, that's just going to be pushing your right analog stick either to the right or to the left. If you're not worried about the blitz, or you don't want to max protect, not max protect, but block your running back, the other combination or route combination, and I do this pretty frequently, is we're going to put our running back on a streak. So bring up our hot route menu, R1 to select the running back there, and we're going to push up on our left analog stick. So this is what the final play looks like as far as your progressions go. You're mainly looking at X, Vernon Davis, the drag first. Second read is usually going to be that streak route from the running back, and if they are doing that A-gap hover blitz there, their user, unless they're really good at switch sticking, it's going to take them a second to get over to that side of the field again, and usually that streak's going to be open. And then from there, if the user continues to chase the drag, then you have the post over the middle. Now that default post is a little bit of a deeper route there, so if you do want to go hot route, hit circle for our receiver over there on the far right hand side, and then push up on our right analog stick to put him in a post. That one's going to break a little bit quicker, so it doesn't take as long to develop. And again, we're looking at X first, then R1, so first Vernon Davis, then Najee Harris, and if the user stays on the drag, then circle across the middle usually is going to be open. Another thing to look for, and I'm kind of bad at reading this right away, is that drag usually pulls down the defenders on the left of screen, and the wheel route's going to kind of get behind them, and you can hit a big play down the field along the sidelines. It's typically going to be best if you're in the middle of the field or on the right hash mark to give yourself more space over on the left. But if we go ahead and snap the ball here, we got this really quick read there. If that's open, I would take it every single time. If not, you usually have this. Again, I'm just mimicking as if they were open, but that would be my second progression. And if they are in a cover 2 and typically cover 3, I think cover 4 takes it away, but you can look for that wheel route along the sidelines, assuming that you have enough time. Again, the pressure got to me there, but you kind of saw that left of screen defender eventually come down and cheat down on that wheel route, or not the wheel route, I'm sorry, the drag route. And it's kind of like death by a million paper cuts. If you just crush them with that drag route enough, they're going to focus on it, and that's really what opens up the rest of the defense. Also, Amon-Ra St. Brown on that streak route, he usually is going to beat cover 3. You just got to be aware of like a middle center or a deep center, free safety or strong safety that's in the middle, kind of playing over to the left there. I get caught slipping occasionally, but that's going to be the very first setup there, and the drag is going to get you a lot of yards pretty frequently. The next setup works really well against cover 3, so this time Amon-Ra St. Brown, our triangle receiver, we're going to put him in a drag by pressing down on our right analog stick. We're going to put John Ross in a post by pressing, after the hot route selection there, up on our right analog stick. So this is so far how it's looking. The next thing we're going to do is put Vernon Davis, our tight end, on a corner route. So when we do our hot route menu and then select him, we're going to push right on the right analog stick. And then finally, we're going to put our right of screen receiver, A.J. Brown, on a streak. So this is how the final setup looks. The streak's going to get open against cover 3. You got a nice little flood combination here with the halfback table route, the corner route with Vernon Davis, and then the streak there. And then on the back end, if they're chasing the corner route or chasing the table route on the right part of your screen, you got a nice drag over the middle there for kind of a check down, and then a deeper post across the middle there on that back end with John Ross. So just a lot of really good route combinations to take a look at. Again, you can take the underneath stuff. If I didn't throw that, the post on the back end looked like that was going to be open. You do have to worry about knockouts over the middle. I just learned like yesterday that deep out elite will somewhat prevent knockouts, and then I'm assuming deep in elite will inside the hash mark. So I know A.J. Brown, for example, gets deep elite for 1 AP. I'm pretty sure team of the year Justin Jefferson gets it as well. If you're going to be throwing the ball down the field there, look for deep elite, deep out elite, mid in elite, mid out elite, things like that. If you can get those for 1 or 0 AP, they should help with knockouts. But that's going to be basically the second route combination. Again, we got this right here. It's going to get knocked out, unfortunately, on John Ross, but this will be route combination number 2. And the great thing about this, I got like 4 more of these. The opponent, they're going to be looking at the same look every single time, but you're going to have route combinations that do different things all over the place. So setup number 3 is going to be really similar to setup number 2, the one that we're showing you right now. The main difference is you're going to streak your tight end instead, so it looks like this, and you can actually just keep it just like this. And between A.J. Brown and Vernon Davis, those streaks usually find a way to get open, and if they don't, you basically have 2 checkdowns with Amon-Ra St. Brown and Najee Harris with the table route and the drag. And again, with the post route over the middle, we have that to look forward to as well. So stuff can get open on this one. And then to take it one more step further, you can put your right of screen receiver on a corner route. So again, hot route menu, select your right of screen receiver. It's going to be circle or A on Xbox for AJ Brown. We're going to push right on our right analog stick to put him in a corner route, but we're going to stem this all the way down. Just stem a route. We've talked about it in this series before. We're going to hit up our hot route menu, select the receiver, circle in AJ Brown. We're going to hold down L1 for a custom stem here, and then we're going to push down on our directional pad. Again, we can change the length of this, but we're going to push it all the way down. So that corner route's going to kind of take the attention of the user in a lot of situations, but it also gets open against a lot of coverages, specifically man coverage. And because we have a table route from Najee Harris, our running back over there as well, that's usually going to pull down a defender too. So unless they user one side and have a hard flat to take away the table route there, one of those two routes is going to get open. And if the safety, the strong safety is paying attention to that side of the screen and the linebacker's too worried about the stuff over the middle, then Vernon Davis, your tight end on the streak, is going to get wide open. And again, you have the drag and then the backside post route on the left of screen that's been there for basically 2 or 3 plays in a row now for these examples. So again, if you want to throw that corner, it's usually there. I kind of threw it early. You are going to have to freeform and pass lead very hard to the right on that one. I definitely threw it way too early there, and you're going to want to try to possession catch as well. But it's just a really good spacing and route combination, and that's why the pros are running a lot of these like normal and double formations now, because with bunch and tight formations and switch sticking against the really elite players, it's easy to move around. And with these bunches, the receivers are kind of in the same area, so it's easier to switch stick around to those different route combinations. Whereas here, it's a lot more spread out. And with everything looking so similar from the examples we showed you already, you just never know what's coming. So the next one we're going to do is streak our Amon-Ra St. Brown, our triangle receiver over here. We're going to continue to put John Ross in a post, so it looks like this. We're going to keep our running back Najee Harris on a table route, as we do for most of the part. He's either going to be a table route or a running back streak. We're going to go back to dragging Vernon Davis, so down on our right analog stick to put him in a drag, and then we're going to put AJ Brown in a hitch route, right? So it's going to look like this. To do a hitch route, you're going to do your hot route menu, select your receiver, circle or A on Xbox, and then you're going to do a hitch route by pressing R2 or right trigger on Xbox. And so this is how the play looks. Basically, we're hoping that the attention of the user, especially if you've been killing them all game on that drag route, we're hoping that that's going to take away the user there. And if he follows the drag route, then that little baby hitch is going to be wide open. If he doesn't and he focuses on the hitch, well, then we got the drag open. Also, the hitch is there to kind of bring the right of screen secondary down and focus on that. And hopefully that backside John Ross post route can get open. The triangle streak from Amon-Ra St. Brown is more of a clear out route. I haven't really ever thrown that there. So if we go ahead and run the play, again, circle's covered there. If it's not, we take that one. But if he's covered, typically that means that drag route from your tight end is going to be open. Now, one other similar setup that you can do with this, as we said with our running back here, is put him on a streak in this situation. It does get a little bit more crowded on the right of screen right when you're initially snapping it. But if you take away the user and he's got to focus on either the tight end drag route or the running back streak route there, then you just have that safety valve with the hitch route on AJ Brown. And if you want to, you can stem this down one, or you can stem it up. Stemming it up is going to take a little bit longer to develop, but it's good against those cover 4 zones. Even if you go like up one more there, it finds a nice little pocket in there. But stemming it down, obviously he's going to run a shorter route there, and you're going to have other things develop. I'm going against the same defense, which isn't helpful either as well. You can see with the cover 4 examples that we've been showing you, like the drags open every single time. So I just switched it to just go against random defenses in this formation, and it'll just give you a better idea of what you can expect. Again, the drag is still going to end up being open in that situation there, and we have enough time, we're going to take that every time. So we got a couple more for you. Like I said, there's a lot of different route combinations you can go with. The next one we're going to do is keeping our right of screen wide receiver on that post route. Instead, we're going to put Vernon Davis on a flat route. So we do our hot route menu, we select your tight end or Vernon Davis, and you're going to hit L2 on PlayStation, left trigger on Xbox there to put him in a flat route. So it looks like this. We're then going to put our running back on a streak. So again, hot route menu, select your running back up on your left analog stick to put him in a streak like that. And then with your left of screen receivers, you can do one of two things. You can go with the streak wheel route combination that we showed you in the very first example, or another thing that you can do, and this one takes a little bit more time, but you can put your triangle receiver on an out route. So hot route menu, triangle receiver John Ross, and you're going to push left on your left analog stick to put him on an out route, but then you're going to have to stem it up 1 or 2 clicks. That's up to you on what you want to do. So again, to do your stem, you're going to go hot route menu, triangle to select the receiver, hold down L1 for a custom stem, and then up on the directional pad 1 or 2 times. Then you're going to drag that outside receiver on the left of screen, which is square, in John Ross. So again, hot route menu, square, down on your right analog stick to drag him. But in this difference, you have to actually motion him out there. So to motion a receiver, you're going to hit circle or A on Xbox, and with your D-pad, you can go in the direction of the receiver that you want. Once you select that receiver, and I'll reset it here, we're going to press left on our left D-pad button to motion him out. So now this is what the final play is going to look like. If you do manually want to put A.J. Brown in a post to shorten up that post route like we did earlier, hot route menu, circle or A on Xbox, and then up on our right analog stick. Again, this post from the hot route menu breaks a little bit earlier, so you don't have to wait as long for it to develop. But we're hoping that Vernon Davis is going to clear out the defense and leave either Najee Harris or A.J. Brown open. We have a safety valve with the drag coming across the middle, down and across the middle, and then Amon-Ra St. Brown is going to get over the top of most zones there on that corner route. It normally should beat man coverage, especially if you have like a mid-out elite, as we talked about that earlier. But if we go ahead and run the play, my favorite read here, if square's not going to be open, again, that's going to be your check down there. But I really love throwing it to the post there, depending on the defense that we see. You are going to get some situations where that safety is coming over there, so be sure to possess and catch. If you don't know how to do that, it's holding down X on PlayStation, A on Xbox, right as you're about to catch it. That's the easiest way to evade knockouts. Now, one similar setup that you can do is, instead of putting Vernon Davis on the flat route, you're going to put A.J. Brown on the flat route. And to do that, again, it's going to be L2 on your PlayStation controller, and then you're going to put Vernon Davis on the post route instead, which would be up on your right analog stick. And then for your running back, you're going to put him on a streak, which we talked about a handful of times. So now you have basically the flat route by A.J. Brown is trying to drag some of those defenders to open up the streak for your running back. You have the post over the middle there, and then again your drag, which we did motion out again, working from left to right. Again, we can hit up the middle of the field there. Be wary of knockouts, but usually the user is going to be one of those 2 players that just knocked it out. So that defender might not always be there to do so, and usually that's going to be open. We always have our drag there. That was man coverage. I'm pretty sure the post is wide open. I just threw it really, really early, but it's yet just another way to give them the same look out of the same formation and the same play, and just really good spacing and good route combinations all across the board. There we have that running back streak. Again, knockouts are killing us right now, but this is a formation, and all of those route concepts that I just showed you is something that I've been running over the last like 5 days or so, and I'm still having more success with the bunch of nasty, but practice makes perfect. I said it in episode number 1. If I run this enough times, if I run this formation enough times over the next month or so, my reads are going to become better because I'm practicing, and then just repetition, and it's going to get to a point where I know where those receivers are going to be against every type of coverage there, and I can start to make my reads a lot easier. It's new to me. It's obviously going to be new to you if you're just watching this video now, but that is another formation that I didn't really anticipate even having in this series. We still have to go over some trips and some wide bunch stuff here, and the different running plays that I use in this playbook. But hopefully all of these route combinations and everything we talked about in this video is going to help you guys continue to score more points, and hopefully help you beat some of those blitzes. I've seen a lot of the comments, you guys are getting blitzed to death. Hopefully those slide protections help you. We'll mention them in more videos, but again, you're going to half slide towards the A-gap blitz, or you're going to half slide towards the loop from left to right, or if he's looping from from right to left. You got a half slide towards the direction that the looper is coming in, and you can usually like double team the defensive tackle or identify the mic either left or right end, depending on which side the blitz is coming from. I might just do a separate video on all of the blitz protections, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think this one's going to be a little bit longer than normal. That's what she said, but thank you again for watching, and I'm out. Peace.